Warner Brothers continues to mine their old properties for new content on their streaming property, Max. But this one turns out to be one of the best animated shows of the year. Let's talk about Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai. This is streaming now on Max, and it is, of course, part of the Gremlins franchise. This is a prequel set in the 1920s, so we're going to get into all of this and my personal experience with the Gremlins franchise as well in just a second. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do movie and TV reviews here, and just about every day something new goes up, so always a lot to check out. Please consider subscribing, hit that like button, share this video, or comment down below. All of that stuff, of course, does help the channel out. All right, so Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai. I have seen the original Gremlins 3 times. I saw it once when I was a kid, scared the hell out of me. Not in theaters, but when it first came to VHS. So I was probably 8 or something, and then I saw it a few years later, and then most recently I saw it during COVID in theaters. They, weren't releasing new movies, so theaters were bringing back all the old favorites for people that still wanted to see movies, and so I caught Gremlins on the big screen finally in 2020 or 2021, and then the new batch, Gremlins 2, I've only seen once when it first hit cable, and I don't even think I've seen the whole thing. We didn't have cable at the time, but my grandmother did, and we were staying over there. It was on either HBO or Showtime or something, but I think we missed maybe the first 20 or 25 minutes of it, but so I've seen most of it. But other than that, I've always thought the character of Gizmo was very cute, and I wanted a little Gizmo plush when I was a kid. Never got that for Christmas under the tree. But Christmas time always does make me think of the Gremlins. Obviously, it's sort of in that conversation of, oh, okay, Die Hard, a Christmas movie, of course it is. Lethal Weapon, Gremlins, these are all kind of in the mix of, are these 80s action movies Christmas movies. To me, of course they are, all 3 of them. But so Christmas time always does kind of make me think of the Gremlins. So when I saw that I had missed this one, and I just recently got Max again. They had a big Black Friday sale. So for a few months I didn't have Max. And so now I'm kind of catching up on some of the shows from there that I missed earlier in the year. So I thought, perfect timing with Christmas and everything as I'm recording this. But so this is, like I said, taking place in the 1920s. And it's based around a 10-year-old Sam Wing. Sam Wing is the old man in the first movie that gives, or that sells the Gizmo character to the family, and gives it a new life. But this is how Sam met Gizmo. And as a young Mogwai, of course, and he, and Gizmo go on these adventures along with some other people, but along the way they encounter and sometimes have to battle these different monsters and Chinese folklore creatures as well. So this show really kind of taps into a lot of the Chinese folklore stuff that I thought was really cool. It was a nice addition. So you have Isaac Wang voicing Sam Wing, but you also have some really, really famous Asian American actors, B.D. Wong, Ming-Na Wen, and James Hong as a part of this. And then Matthew Rhys plays one of the ongoing villains. And then we also have a couple of Easter eggs here from actual people that were in Gremlins. Zach Galligan has a minor role in one of the episodes, and Haviland Morris, who played Maria in Gremlins 2. She's here. Now, unfortunately, Howie Mandel does not reprise his role as Gizmo, doing the voice work there, which is kind of a bummer. He was part of what made the Gizmo character so adorable. Whoever is doing the voice, it does it justice, though. He's still such a cute little guy. So, props to whoever is sort of imitating Howie Mandel's version of the Gizmo, because I wouldn't have known the difference if I didn't read it. So, but this is also executive produced by Steven Spielberg as part of his Amblin umbrella, and Joe Dante, who directed both the Gremlins movies, served here as a consulting producer. So this really has, not just Warner Brothers kind of digging through their archives, but this has the stamp of, some of the people that really worked on these original movies and obviously, hold them near and dear to them. And it shows on the screen. So the show is beautifully animated, first of all. The voice work is a lot of fun, and this really is a great adventure series. It reminds me a lot, and I caught this kind of right from the first episode. When I was growing up, obviously Saturday morning cartoons, were huge. Cable wasn't, Nickelodeon existed, but, cable wasn't what it became, where, you could have Cartoon Network and Boomerang and Nickelodeon always showing cartoons and Disney Channel. And then now, of course, with streaming, you can get cartoons anytime. But when I was a kid, Saturday morning was like the only place, maybe, weekday mornings too before school, but to get brand new cartoon content, it was Saturday mornings or nothing. And this really reminded me of a lot of the shows I watched as a kid Saturday morning that were more like, I didn't really watch a ton of like the action based shows that were on weekdays. Like I did watch He-Man, but like I didn't watch Mask or the Transformers or any of those, or Thundercats. But Saturday mornings they had like ones that were a little bit funny sometimes, but had some darker elements to it, like the Smurfs, for example. You had Gargamel with his spells and trying to, capture the Smurfs and everything. This really is kind of in that vein. This is definitely family friendly. It is for kids. It's rated PG. I think kids really of all ages could watch this. I mean, I was watching, Scooby-Doo and stuff when I was very, very little. And this kind of is a throwback to that time. I feel like a lot of the animated shows I watch now, and I when I was doing my weekly TV roundup, I was reviewing pretty much everything that came out, whether it was for little kids or whatever. But the cartoons are sort of fall into like three categories now. They're either like really, really adult, and go super, super blue and curse heavy and all of that. They're for like little babies. And then there's a small handful in the middle, like on Nickelodeon or something, that are fine, for all ages, but there's not a lot of like oomph behind them. So when I was a little older in the 90s, you had things like Batman the Animated Series, or even something like DuckTales, which, had some of those funny elements, but also, there was some dark stuff going on, with magic and stuff like that. This reminds me a lot of those kind of shows. And it's something that, quite frankly, we don't really see a lot of anymore for kids' entertainment. And this is something that, because there's, a big property behind it, everybody knows the Gremlins. I think adults could enjoy this too, as sort of a prequel to the movies, that they grew up on or whatever. And the voice work, is pretty good. The only thing that sort of separates it a little bit from those shows growing up for me is that this is it's not completely like a one thread show where every episode attaches to the next one. It does have those overarching themes, but at the same time there are like kind of, okay, this episode they're going to battle against this person or this creature. And so that's a little bit of a mix of things I had growing up. Like DuckTales would have like those week-long episodes where you had to watch every day of the week because they were all, a different part of the same story. But like Smurfs, it was, every episode was a different thing. You could tune it on, tune it in any episode and it didn't matter. So this has a little bit of both. There is certainly, an overarching thing, but you could probably pick up any episode of this and enjoy it. But with streaming, of course, you don't have to. We always start with the first episode and move on from there. So obviously that's changed a little bit. But this is a really great throwback series for me that I think kids today will also enjoy, even if they don't even know, what the Gremlins are, even if they're too young to watch that first Gremlins movie, because I think that is, kind of scary for young kids. I think a 5-year-old could even watch this, the same way I did with Scooby-Doo, and maybe it's a little scary, for them, but I think it's really enjoyable too. It's very colorful. Like I said, the animation's really good. This is a really, really well done show. So I leave Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai with an A minus. And you can check out all the episodes now streaming on Max. And it was already renewed for a second season about a year before the first season even started. So obviously they were looking at some, early drafts of the drawings or whatever, and said, yeah, let's give this a second season already. So hopefully next year we will see season 2 of this one. So all right, thank you for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.